Thank you, Norm. Thank you, these incredible Toronto candidates. I'm really honored to be here in Toronto with them all. So I want to lay out what's happening in the next couple of days. This weekend, the GST holiday will end. So you're going to end up paying more for the things that you need. So more for diapers, more for children's clothing, more for grab and go food at the groceries. I think that is wrong. I think it's wrong that you're going to have to pay more for things, particularly in the current context. We've got the threat of a trade war. We got tariffs from Donald Trump. People are worried that they might lose their job. They're worried that prices are going to go up at a time when they're already so high. I think it's wrong that the government is choosing to do this now. But I think it's particularly wrong if you look at the choices this government's making. They're choosing to stop giving people a break, to stop giving you and your families a break, but they're choosing to flip-flop on capital gains to give millionaires a break. Those earning over $1 million, they want to give them a break. I think that is absolutely wrong. Mark Carney said that giving a GST break to working people is a bad idea, but he thinks it's a good idea to flip-flop on the capital gains and give more money to millionaires. I think that's absolutely the wrong thing to do. What a new Democrat government would do, what we would do together, we would give you a break. I'm proposing that a new Democrat government would permanently remove the GST off of essentials. Essentials like your home heating bill, like your cellular and internet bills, giving you a break on the things that you need, like your grocery, grab and go groceries, diapers, children's clothing. Working folks, everyday people need a break, not millionaires. With New Democrats, we're going to give you a break. With Mark Carney and the Liberals, they want to give millionaires a break. I think that's wrong. Donc, ce fin de la semaine, le congé de la TPS va arrêter. Ça veut dire que vous allez payer plus pour les choses dont vous avez besoin. Ça veut dire que vous allez payer plus pour les couches, plus pour la nourriture préparée à l'épicerie. Vous allez payer plus. Je pense que c'est la mauvaise chose à faire à ce moment. Je pense que les libéraux ont tort de faire ça parce que les gens ont peur qu'avec une guerre commerciale avec les États-Unis, avec les tarifs de Donald Trump, ça veut dire que les choses, le coût de la vie va augmenter. Donc, c'est le mauvais moment de faire ça. Mais ce qui est pire encore, c'est le fait que les libéraux, leur volte-face sur les gains capital vont donner un gros cadeau aux millionnaires en même temps qu'ils coupent de l'aide pour les travailleurs. Je pense que ça montre les valeurs du Parti libéral, ça montre les valeurs de Mark Carney. Mark Carney a dit qu'il s'oppose à l'idée d'un congé de la TPS. Il a pensé que c'était une mauvaise chose à faire. Donc, il pense que c'est la mauvaise chose à faire de donner un coup de main aux travailleurs, mais il pense que c'est une bonne chose de donner un coupe en taxes pour les millionnaires. Ça montre ses valeurs. Nous, les NPD, un gouvernement NPD avec mes alliés, avec les candidats autour de moi, on veut donner un coup de main à vous. Donc, notre proposition, un gouvernement néo-démocrate va couper dans une façon permanente la TPS sur les essentiels. Les factures essentielles comme vos factures d'Internet, vos factures de cellulaire et vos factures de chauffage de maison. Et on va couper la TPS sur les couches, sur les vêtements pour les enfants et sur la nourriture préparée à l'épicerie. Avec l'NPD, on donne un coup de main aux familles. Avec les libéraux, ils donnent un coup de main aux millionnaires. Je pense qu'ils ont tort. Je pense que notre approche est meilleure. With that, I'm ready for any questions you might have.
We go right to Zoom for questions today.
Sure.
Perfect. We will go ahead and start with David Baxter from the CP. Sorry, please go ahead.
All right, perfect. Can you hear me there, Mr. Singh?
Hey there. I can hear you.
Perfect. All right, so I want to ask about this memo that was going around to NDP candidates talking about the prospect of an election call as soon as March 10th. The NDP still needs about 200 candidates to have a full slate by that date if the election were called then. And we're seeing, polling pointing to, a potential trend of NDP supporters breaking off to the Liberals. How do you try to get people back on board, especially if an election is happening within 3 weeks here?
Yeah, our understanding is Mark Carney is going to call an early election. So we're preparing for that. We're getting ready for that. We've nominated 140 candidates already, more to come. And so we'll be ready to fight this election. This election is going to be an important choice. And so I want to remind folks, the Liberals have had 9 years. What has happened in those 9 years since the Liberals have been in power? Well, your cost of homes went up, cost of groceries went up. Things are worse now. Ask yourself, are you better now after 9 years of Liberals, or are you worse off? Canadians are going to say they're worse off. Changing the leader doesn't change the fact that they had 9 years to make your life better and they made it worse. And now what about the Conservatives? Well, Pierre Poilievre is proposing to do things that are going to make your life worse. He said that he wants to cut childcare. That's going to cost families at a minimum $8,000 a year if he cuts childcare. He wants to cut the child benefit. That's another $600 a month for working families, for everyday folks. He wants to cut the dental care program for seniors. Seniors who barely just got the dignity of getting their teeth fixed. Over 1.5 million people have been able to get their teeth fixed with the new Democrat dental plan. He wants to cut that. He doesn't think people deserve that. That's going to cost people. He wants to propose cuts that will hurt people, that will cost people. He's voted against these things, and he's going to put in place cuts that are going to hurt you. And what do we want to do? We want to defend those things that people need, invest in our healthcare, take better care of people, and lower your bills. Take on the corporate greed that's driving up the cost of your groceries. Bring down the cost of housing so people can afford a home. I think the choice is clear in this next election. The Democrats have your back.
All right. But just on the polling front though, we're seeing the NDP's numbers falling quite dramatically from several different pollsters right now, and that support seems to be bleeding over to the Liberals. How do you try to tell people that what you want to do is actually helpful for them, where it seems like people are seeing the Liberals as the better alternative to the Conservatives?
Normally in a leadership race, there's some attention on that party, and I'm not concerned about that. What I am concerned is that people were let down over these past 9 years. Like, I talk to people again and again, they tell me, I can't ever imagine buying a home. My cost of rent has skyrocketed. The cost of groceries has gone up. And what did the Liberals do in that time? They let corporate grocery stores rip you off. They said they were going to ask them nicely to lower prices, and they didn't do it. Obviously, that's not going to work. We're proposing a price cap on food essentials, to impose a price cap to bring down the cost of food immediately. And so for folks that feel let down, you've been let down and you deserve better. You don't deserve a government that let you down for 9 years. You deserve someone that's going to fight for you. And the Conservatives are not the solution. They have shown again and again, Pierre Poilievre has shown you what he wants to do. He wants to cut the things that you need. He has said it. He wants to cut pensions for seniors. They cut it before when they were in power. They want you to work longer and earn less. So he's voted that way before. He wants to do that in the future. Seniors deserve better. Families deserve better. We want to defend the things that you have, make them better. We want to defend our pensions, defend our healthcare, and improve them. And we want to lower your bills. We have a real plan to do that by taking on corporate greed, by taking on the corporate grocery stores that are ripping you off. We know that they're ripping us off. They ripped us off with the cost of bread, and most recently with the cost of meat, where they included the packaging weight in charging you and ripping you off in a systematic way across the board. We're the only ones calling out that corporate greed and taking on the ones that are ripping you off. So if you want lower bills, if you want homes you can afford, you Democrats are the ones.
Nous allons maintenant à Juliane Lapointe de Radio-Canada. C'est à vous.
Bonjour, Monsieur Singh.
Bonjour.
J'aimerais vous entendre sur le grand rassemblement des conservateurs qui est prévu pour demain. On sait que les conservateurs essaient de changer de message, parler davantage du Canada d'abord. On n'est plus dans les critiques du gouvernement Trudeau, ou en tout cas, on l'est encore, mais peut-être un peu moins que ce qu'on a vu par le passé. Comment vous voyez ça au NPD? Est-ce que ça vous inquiète de voir qu'on est en train de tenter de changer de stratégie chez les conservateurs?
C'est intéressant qu'ils essaient de changer leur stratégie, mais ce qui est plus intéressant, c'est le fait que comment Pierre Poilievre peut dire qu'il va défendre le Canada quand il a accepté l'appui de Elon Musk. Elon Musk a appuyé Pierre Poilievre parce que Elon Musk sait que Pierre Poilievre va aider les milliardaires. C'est pourquoi il a appuyé Pierre Poilievre. Mais pire que ça, c'est le fait que Pierre Poilievre a accepté l'appui de Elon Musk. Elon Musk fait partie d'une administration qui a menacé notre pays, qui a menacé même notre souveraineté, qui a menacé les emplois au Canada, qui a menacé d'augmenter le coût de la vie. Il a accepté d'appui de ce gars parce qu'il est le choix de l'administration de Donald Trump au Canada. Comment un gars comme ça peut défendre notre pays quand il est le gars de la plus grande menace sur notre pays? Donc, je pense que les gens vont voir que ce n'est pas quelqu'un qui peut les défendre, c'est nous qui sommes prêts de défendre les gens, particulièrement les travailleurs.
Vous avez répété que le NPD en ce moment a environ 140 candidats investis. Comment vous pouvez prétendre être prêt pour une campagne électorale s'il vous manque encore des candidats dans plus de la moitié des circonscriptions?
Je pense qu'on a eu un petit problème technique. Ça sera pas long. On va régler ça, puis on va être de retour dans pas long, Juliane et tout le monde. So I think we have like just a small technical problem. We'll fix it and be right back.
Got a little connectivity issue. Be 1 second.
Sure.
Juliane, est-ce que tu aimerais répéter ta question, s'il vous plaît?
Oui, est-ce que vous m'entendez? Je ne sais pas si. Est-ce qu'on a entendu ma
Oui,
question tantôt?
oui, non, ça fonctionne. Est-ce que vous avez entendu ma réponse?
Ben, je ne l'ai pas entendu au téléphone, mais je l'ai entendu sur le feed. Fait que c'est correct. On va être correct. Je pense que vous avez répondu.
C'est parfait.
OK,
Donc,
parfait, parfait.
so now we'll go to Mike Lecouteur with CTV. Please go ahead.
Mike, if you're trying to give it another shot.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yeah, gotcha.
Okay,
Let's
sorry.
go.
There's the unmute
No worries.
button.
It's all good.
After so many years, you'd think we would have figured it out. Okay, so
All good.
you've said over the last number of weeks that you're going to vote to bring down this government and force a spring election. But if you're given the choice when Parliament comes back between helping workers and bringing down the government, what will you do?
I appreciate the question. You know, we've been really clear on this. The government has had 2 months. We could have called back Parliament weeks ago. We called on the government to recall Parliament to put in place supports for workers. Workers are already seeing job losses, and now we've got tariffs in place on steel and aluminum that are going to affect those workers. We've said from the beginning, we need a package of supports in place now. As soon as the threats were clear, we needed a package of support for the workers. I was on a call with all the leaders of opposition and the prime minister. I was the only leader to raise the point that we need this support package for workers. In addition, we need to realize that there's also going to be some pressures on the cost of living. So we need better protections in place to keep life affordable. We need those things passed in Parliament. There's 2 months to do that. If the Liberals were serious about doing it, they could have recalled Parliament. We could have got these things passed. But now it's become clear that Mark Carney is going to call a snap election. He's going to call an election before government resumes at the end of May, at the end of March. So we're preparing for that.
In fairness, that wasn't my question. The question is, if he does bring back Parliament and the choice before you is to either bring down the government or to support workers, what do you do?
Well, I think it's a false choice that if the government is serious about doing that, they would bring the Parliament back now because workers are already losing their jobs. How would it make sense if this escalates and more job losses happen to wait another 30 days before Parliament's resumed and we see massive pain, workers losing their job? How does that make any sense? If the government's serious about putting in place supports for workers, I believe we should do that. I've called on that. Call back Parliament. Let's get it passed immediately. I can't imagine any opposition leader opposing a package to support workers if the government's serious about doing that. Bring Parliament back. Let's do that now. But we are operating under the clear indication by Mark Carney that there's going to be a snap election held early. He's going to call that mid-March, and we're preparing for that.
Nous avons une dernière question avec Olivier Ferron-Boissé avec TVA. C'est à vous.
Oui, bonjour. Bonjour, Monsieur Singh. Merci de prendre nos questions. Le candidat à la chefferie libérale, Mark Carney, a promis de ramener l'équilibre budgétaire en 3 ans. Deux questions en deux volets. Pensez-vous que c'est réaliste? De un, puis de deux, est-ce que vous craignez que ça puisse nuire aux programmes sur lesquels vous avez poussé, qui sont toujours en déploiement, comme les soins dentaires, puis les médicaments aussi?
Oui, j'ai peur pour ces programmes parce que la seule raison pour laquelle on a ces programmes, les soins dentaires, le financement pour la science et médicaments, la seule raison pour la raison pour le fait que ces programmes sont là, c'est à cause de nous. C'est parce que l'NPD a forcé le gouvernement de faire ça. Donc, c'est clair que sans avoir l'NPD, les libéraux veulent couper tout ça. Ils veulent couper les programmes pour les gens. Et Mark Carney a déjà dit qu'il est contre ces sortes de programmes sociaux. Il est contre les soins dentaires. Il a dit que ce sont des idées radicaux. Il a appelé le fait qu'on aide les personnes âgées à soigner ses dents une idée radicaux. Je pense que c'est normal d'aider quelqu'un qui a travaillé toute sa vie de soigner ses dents. Je pense que c'est normal d'aider les enfants à soigner ses dents. Et ça aurait dû être partie de notre système de santé dans le passé. Mais c'est clair que les valeurs de Mark Carney, ce n'est pas les mêmes valeurs que nous, l'NPD. Il ne pense pas qu'on doit investir davantage dans les gens. Ce qu'il pense, on doit aider les milliardaires. Mais il a fait ça toute sa carrière, donc ça a raison pour lui, mais ça n'a pas raison pour les gens.
Est-ce que vous ou votre équipe avez eu des discussions avec Mark Carney et son équipe dans les dernières semaines?
Non.
Merci.
Ceci conclut notre
Merci.
conférence de presse. This concludes our press conference. Thank you. Merci.